Hello and welcome to the another week summary for Yoga Vasistha. It is actually not a week this time. It is only 15th to 20th of August for 6 days. But this is very interesting. This is where Yoga Sage Vasistha talks about the Vidya and Avidya. What is ignorance and what is real knowledge? He talks about that, and once you understand what is ignorance and you establish into the self knowledge, which is being called as a Brahman, then he has given a lot of amazing understanding about Brahman in last few pages. So without taking more time in explanation, let's get into the book. So of course, 15th of August, page number 228. Lord Rama asked that, how come this Vishnu and Shiva, all this is a part of ignorance? How can you say that? So Vasistha explains that the truth, the existence, consciousness, bliss is absolute, is beyond thought and understanding. Sat, Chit, Anand. Existence is Sat, it is existing. Chit, it is conscious, it is called consciousness. And bliss, it is full of bliss. That's why it's called Ananda. Satchitananda. It is supreme peace and it is omnipresent. It transcends imagination and discrimination. Now, in that there are three things: sattva, rajas, and tamas. So this consciousness it has got the quality of characteristics of three things: sattva, rajas, and tamas, and it comprehends three in the intellect that comprehends these three regards them as sattva, rajas, and tamas. Okay, and then these three sattva, rajas, and tamas, the comprehends that the intellect does is that from where the prakriti or the nature has come out. So understand, inside you there is a faculty which is just the witness consciousness, that I am the purest form of your individual being, individual journey, where it starts. Okay, you will feel that field of energy, or you will feel of that nothingness inside you. So that state of I am, we will refer at. Okay, so that is a consciousness. That consciousness has the intellect which is comprehending, or which is which is made up of three things: sattva, rajas, and tamas. So everything that manifests after that into your own being is made up of these three things: sattva, rajas, and tamas. Now that purity of the consciousness which is there itself is a sattva. The mental modification of inside you, which has got the actions involved into it, is called rajas. And the physical aspect of you, which has got limitations, it called the tamas. Okay, the whole world is made up of like this. In everywhere you go, it is the consciousness. Then on the top of that, there will be some kind of energy flow happening, mental or non-mental, depending on the living creature. And then there is a physical form to that. Now, avidya or ignorance is prakriti, and it is threefold. This is the source of all being, and beyond it is supreme. Beyond that is supreme. So once you become aware of that sattvic nature of your existence, and the first individual separateness that has been happened into the infinite consciousness in the form of I am, then beyond that is the supreme. Now these qualities sattva, rajas, tamas are subdivided into again sattva, rajas, tamas. Sattva, 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 rajas, sattva, tamas, rajas, sattva, rajas, tamas, like that. Now sages, perfected beings, and gods, they are of the sattvic nature of the ignorance, because they are, anything that is time bound is a part of nature, is a part of unreality, is a part of avidya, is a part of ignorance. Now whether it's the gods or goddesses which do not have the physical form but existing into the subtle form, they also exist into this consciousness in the sattvic form and are bound by the time That's why it is been referred as a ignorance or avidya. What is their time? It says here that they who come under the category of sattva are not born again, hence they are considered as a liberated. Correct? They exist as long as the world lasts. So what is the time for this world? How long this world is lasting? That long they are lasting. When this world will dissolve, the supreme from where all this world has come will still be there to create the another world. Do you have any idea of how much number is this world is? This could be the 10th world that has appeared. This could be the 100th world that has appeared into this consciousness or supreme. This could be the billionth of the world which has been appeared, which is staying there, the whole galaxy, the whole system, the way it's moving. Of course, its lifespan is for billions of years. So we don't know. But then in those lifespan of billions of years, after that, the Big Bang, what is there, Hiranyagarbha called in Indian scriptures, it will all dissolve. It will just gone into something. And then again, because of some spontaneous accident that will happen, it will start creating and coming back. And again, the next thing will form. So the process lasts for billions and billions of years. In that billions and billions of years, there is the existence of the solar system. In that solar system, there is the existence of Earth. In that Earth, there is the existence of the living creatures. In that, the humans has come in form. And in that, the humans are living for some time. In that, you are born. You are thinking as yourself as a born. And you are living for some time. And you will let go of this body and you will die. So that is why everything is a part of that. That is why it's called avidya. It's called ignorance. Avidya arises in vidya just as a ripple arises. And avidya dissolves in vidya just as the ripples dissolve in the water. So like I said, everything has just come from something and everything is going back into that something, and that something which is always there, though everything is there or everything is not there, as a projection or as not a projection, that is called the vidya. When you cease to see knowledge and ignorance as two distinct entities, what exists alone exists. So why do you need knowledge? Because you have ignorance. Once your ignorance is gone, you don't need knowledge also. How can your ignorance will go on? With the sword of the knowledge. You have got a knowledge to understand that what you really are. The discrimination, the self-understanding, the self-realization. Once you establish into that, and once you know that, then you don't need to hold on to that. That knowledge has become experiential knowledge. Now, because you don't, and that has knowledge become experiential knowledge, and it has wiped out all the ignorance. Now, once the ignorance is gone, what is the point of having this knowledge? Have you ever seen any sage or any master who is just sitting and saying, I got knowledge, come and take me, I got knowledge, come and... No, they're just into that particular state which is beyond knowledge and ignorance. When the question is asked, when something has to explain, and when they open their mouth, when they use the words or any of the technique for making the mankind better, then the knowledge comes out of them. But if you ask them, if you see their life closely, when they are alone, they don't keep telling themselves, oh, I got knowledge, I know this, I know everything, come and ask me. They are just beyond that state. So that is what is vidya. The reflection of vidya in itself considered as avidya. So this, like in the beginning, in the initial pages of Yoga Vasistha, if you remember, the consciousness, the supreme, the absolute, had a ripple inside it, and it wanted to know itself where the first layer of the consciousness was formed into that supreme, which was not separate from the supreme, but it appeared to be supreme, and it was because of its power of manifesting, it wanted to know itself. It started manifesting and it started becoming the world and everything the way it multifolded. Now, next page, in the middle paragraph, again Vasistha explains, means everything he has explained about the physical form and all that, but I will just consider a few things. When consciousness objectifies itself and regards itself as its own object of observation, there is avidya. When this subject object notion is transcended, all this reality, you envelop the reality, and then so long as there is a pot, there is also the notion of the space included inside the pot. When the pot is broken, the infinite space alone is even the pot space is imagined before. Inside you, that is something that is existing, which is considering itself as limited and attached to this body, and the form body is been come into existence, and now it's considered itself as this body. That is the pot. When the pot is broken, when the body is dropped, when we are died, after that what happens? That one energy becomes one with the outside energy. That's it. Because right now also it can become one with the outside energy. Why it is not becoming one with the outside energy? Because it is attached. Its attention is outward on the projection that has been happened. If you just let go of that attention for some time, and if you just learn that skill of being one with yourself and understanding how the projection is happening, how the attention is been happening, and you reduce the grip of that attention on this material thing, the non-existing thing, the time-bound thing, the illusory thing, then you will start sinking into your own nature, where you will start understanding again the I am state of your existence. And then you will understand, oh my goodness, this is the last border of the pot. After that, there is no pot, so there is no separateness of the space or the energy. However, once you become one with that, there is nothing to refer that. That's why you will not understand that state. You will not be able to intellectually grasp that state, because intellect remains here on the outer part. You will not be able to witness that thing, because witnessing is happening on the separate thing. So that's why we need to take a support of this consciousness for understanding the reality. See, before you were born, this thing was reality, then you didn't understand, no? Can you say before you were born, 2 years before I was born, I knew everything how it was? No, because there was no reference point there. Reference point is right now your individual consciousness, where the journey starts as individuality. You reach to that level, that itself is the starting point of your liberation, liberating from all the other aspects of yourself. And then after that, you just wait there, you just relax there, you just rest there. Then automatically all the other things happens, and the supreme, the absolute, when it's ready for you to understand itself, then only you become one with that. It is still there. You know it, you understand it, accept it, you don't accept it, it is still there, and it will be still there. Now, Rama asks, how cosmic intelligence becomes a thing like rocks and all that. He said, substances like rocks, consciousness remains immobile in them. So consciousness is still there. Consciousness is still there, and it's become immobile. And then there's no mind, like deep sleep state. Deep sleep is where you become one with entire creation, but you are unconscious. What's that word they use? Insentient. Your existence is insentient. You are inert. That's why you don't find that as a awakening experience. You just get up and you feel fresh, because your body has rested, your mind has rested. So the same thing, like in rocks. Rocks means like something that is always into the deep sleep state. Then Lord Rama asks, the state of deep sleep without any concepts and percept, then it should be the very close to liberation, because it won't have any concepts. Then Vasistha explains, moksha, liberation or realization of the infinite is not existence as the immobile creature. Liberation is attained when one arrives to the state of supreme peace after intelligent inquiry into the nature of the self, and after this is been brought about by inner awakening. So you have to be first be very conscious, and on being conscious you have to consciously act on understanding that reality which is there, which is witnessing all those things happening. If you are unconscious in deep sleep, then that will not happen. That conscious journey of understanding yourself will not happen. That's why, though it appears to be close to you, the deep sleep state is appear to be close to the liberated state, you will not be able to get liberated by just sleeping. You will just keep sleeping, deep sleep, and I will be liberated. It will not happen. When you are conscious, when you are awake, while in that conscious level, conscious state, you go back into the state and imagine yourself as a deep sleep and witnessing the deep sleep state inside you as nothing happening, on the level where nothing is happening, just the witnessing is happening. That is where the journey of self-realization happens, or the liberation happens, liberating from all the concepts on the level of the mind and level of the body, liberating from that individual consciousness, considering itself as a separate from the supreme consciousness and attached to all the projection that has been happened on its level. Kaivalya, or the total freedom, is attainment of the pure being after all mental conditioning, and is transcended consciously and after a thorough investigation, which we just read. 17th of August, page number 230. As long as psychological limitations and conditioning remains in the heart, even in their subtle seed state, it should be regarded as a deep sleep. It is an inner state and its source of unhappiness. Such a state is insentient, and these people are not, these objects or these people are not free from vasanas, but self limitations or vasana is hidden and in latent form. Where the seed of vasana or self limitation or conditioning or tendency exist, that state is like a deep sleep state. It is not perfection. That state is known as, and when the vasanas are destroyed, and even the potentiality of the vasana does not exist, not even in a seed form, that state is known as fourth state, beyond waking, dream and deep sleep, that is called Turiya, transcendental state. The Chit Shakti, the energy consciousness, lies in immobile creatures as a latent vasana. It is the Chit Shakti that determines the nature of the object. If it is the fundamental characteristics of every molecule of each object, very molecule of each object, means everything is made up of all the molecules, and inside that molecule there is this Chit Shakti, the energy consciousness, that is making it what it is, right? That is the first thing he said. The second thing he said, there is a Atma Shakti. So there is a consciousness which is there in everything, which is determining what it should be and what is the nature of that. But then there is an energy into that consciousness, the prana, we can call it as a energy of the self or energy of the infinite consciousness. It creates the delusion of the world appearance. It is realized, if it is realized as a truth, which is infinite consciousness, that realization destroys all sorrow. And then, sorry, I just said the other way around. The energy consciousness is the prana shakti, which is determining what is the characteristics of you should be. If it is in the dormant form, then you will be rock. If it is in a little movement form, you will be plants or animals. If it is in more movement form, you will be animals. And then if it is more than that, then you will be human beings and all that. The energy consciousness. Now beyond that, energy consciousness is based on Atma, the infinite energy of the infinite consciousness, in which this other energy is existing. So if that energy, the later form of the energy we discuss, the energy of the self or infinite consciousness is not realized, then you will not be able to come out of this delusion. That's what he means. That which has the beginning has the end. With when all these things are beginning, which have beginning, are ruled out, what remains is the truth. So everything that is at the beginning got an end and is time bound, and everything that is time bound, if you get rid of that, then what remains is something that is telling you on witness consciousness, from where you are seeing all these time bound things, and you should be becoming one with that. And once you become one with that, you realize, oh my goodness, there is something inside me which is not time bound, which knows everything else which is time bound. And then that realization is you're going back to yourself, your state. You may regard it as something or nothing that is to be sought, which is when ignorance has been dispelled. The sweetness one taste is not experienced by another. Listening someone's description of the cessation of avidya does not give you rise to your enlightenment. So he has said, no matter how many books you read, no matter how many summary talks that we are sharing like this you will hear, or how many sages knowledge discourses you hear, you will not be able to understand, because they are telling their own journey. I am sharing all this knowledge the way I have understood it inside me. You can take this as only as a reference point, but till the time you will sit yourself and you will understand this and you will get the taste of it, everything will be just the battle of words. It will not give you that experience, it will just give you the direction. When the finger is pointing the moon, till the time you see the moon, you take the reference of the finger. Once you see the moon, why are you holding on to the finger? That's what happens. Once you understand something, the knowledge, then the ignorance is gone and you establish into the knowledge. And once you establish into the reality, even that understanding of that reality in the form of knowledge is also gone. Is it making sense? So then you don't need to hold on. Then you will read this book easily, then it is like nothing. This is a piece of cake. Again and again, I repeat that, O Rama, that for the sake of spiritual awakening, the realization of the self does not happen without repetition, is discrimination. But self-knowledge is not within the reach of the senses. It arises when the senses and the mind and the sixth sense, which is the sixth sense, ceases. When the senses, mind, physical aspect of you, mental aspect of you ceases, not there, then only you start understanding the self-knowledge. What is the nature of the self-knowledge is the next question that is being asked by Rama. He says, whatever there is, whatever appears to be, is world jugglery, is but the pure Brahman, or the absolute consciousness. Consciousness is Brahman and the world is Brahman. All the elements are Brahman. I am Brahman. My enemy is Brahman. My friend, relatives, everything is Brahman. Time is Brahman. Ocean appears to be expanded and the waves, everything is nothing but Brahman. Brahman is expanded into the infinite variety of substances. Brahman apprehends Brahman. Brahman experiences and enjoys Brahman. Brahman is made manifest Brahman by the power of Brahman himself. Brahman is in the form of energy who dispels me, who am I, Brahman. So he's saying, means understand this now. There's lots of words said, Brahman, 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 Brahman. In this level of the absolute, there arise a ripple, and then the consciousness came into the form. This consciousness has the ability and the power to manifest and know itself. That's why the whole world came into the form. Slowly, slowly, the evaluation theory, if you see how many millions of years it took for the earth to form, then the living beings to form, creatures to form. Because there was a capacity, there was a power, there was an intellect inside it to know it, and then the things started happening. So if that is come from that, then everything is a part of that. It took some time. It's process, is the evaluation is a continuous process. Now also we are evolving right now at this stage also. We cannot say that's the end. After 100 years the world will be different. Sorry, the way we think will be different, the way we use our gadgets will be different, the way we interact will be different. So we are evolving. Why we are evolving? Because 200 500 millions years ago we were evolving, and that process is continuing. Why that process is continuing? Because from which all this evaluation is happening, from which all this manifestation is happening, has got the tremendous potential and power and knowledge. That's why it is allowing it to happen inside it, as it, for it. That is what is called the Brahman, you know, apparent Brahman, Brahman experiencing and enjoys Brahman. Brahman is made manifest in Brahman by the power of the Brahman. How can, how, how then can they be magnified when Brahman alone moves in all the forms? Brahman is satisfied with Brahman. Brahman is established in the Brahman. There is neither I nor another. And then he continues talking about the Brahman. An amazing explanation he has given. Body is Brahman, pleasure is Brahman. Even so, the Brahman can be consequence, and there is restlessness inside you is also Brahman. Sentient Jiva is also Brahman. Brahman alone pervades everywhere. The mind, the intellect, the ego sense, the cosmic root element, the senses, all are the driver phenomenon of the Brahman. The knower of the Brahman declares that such is a great one, is himself the Lord and Brahman in the case of ignorant and non-recognition of the truth, is known as ignorant. See, the knower of this whole understanding and the knowledge declares himself as a Lord. That is what happened in Bhagavad Gita when Krishna said, I am the one in which everything is happening. Arjuna, you are not killing anyone. I am the one who is killing. You are not destroying anything. I am the one who is destroying. It is the same Jesus said that I am the son of my father, and if you want to go to the father, you have to go through me. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. You should go down to that wise one. Or in Muslim religion, Allah. Allah means A is the starting letter, H is the end letter. In that, whatever is in this world has got a name, and every name exists in between A and H. And that's why everything is a part of that. Everything has come out of that, and everything exists into that, and everything is a part of that God. So see all the scriptures and the description of the God in every scripture, you will understand that everything is same actually. It has been said at different time by different people in different language and in a different way, but the truth remains still the same. Being omnipotent, Brahman becomes whatever it considers itself to be. What is truth? This is a very wonderful explanation. I have nothing to do with sorrow, with actions, with delusion or desire. I am at peace, free from sorrow. I am Brahman. Such is the truth. I am free from all the defects. I am the all. I do not seek anything. I do not abandon anything. I am Brahman. I am the mind also, I am Brahman, I am consciousness, I am permanent, I am space, I am sun, I am the entire space. I am into all the things here, I am Brahman. I am tree stump, I am forest, I am mountain and ocean. I am the non-dual Brahman. Such is the truth. I am consciousness in which the things are strung and through whose power all beings engage themselves in their activities. I am the essence of all things. This is a certain. All things exist in the Brahman. All things flow from it. All things are Brahman. It is omnipresent. It is oneself. It is the truth. So beautiful explanation. No, means it's if you read this, if you just close your eyes and understand it, and if you just imagine also it's the portion of it inside you as this what is explained, you will experience that meditative state. But be careful, be very careful that ego should not say I am Brahman inside you. After you transcended the ego, after you go beyond your individual consciousness, the subtlest form of your ego, then you can experience this, and then you can understand this, and then you can say this with conviction the way it has been said here. Till the time you are taking the stand of your body, your form, your name, your individual consciousness, you will not be able to say this as with the same conviction as it has been said in this book. However, the journey has begun, and journey itself is the goal, and goal is nothing but the continuous journey. So let's keep doing that discrimination and understand yourself more and more. We will see you next week again. Bye.